Love, Class, and Wit. Iconic Quotes from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. A person may be proud without being vain. Pride relates more to our opinion of ourselves, vanity to what we would have others think of us. Happiness in marriage is entirely a matter of chance. There is, I believe, in every disposition a tendency to some particular evil. I could easily forgive his pride, if he had not mortified mine.
She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me, and I am in no humour at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men.
To be fond of dancing was a certain step towards falling in love. Vanity is, I am afraid, my favourite failing. I declare after all there is no enjoyment like reading. How much sooner one tires of anything than of a book. When I have a house of my own, I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library. My courage always rises at every attempt to intimidate me.
Nothing is more deceitful than the appearance of humility. It is often only carelessness of opinion, and sometimes an indirect boast. I have been used to consider poetry as the food of love.
He is a gentleman, I am a gentleman's daughter, so far we are equal.
Next to being married, a girl likes to be crossed in love a little now and then. It is something to think of, and gives her a sort of distinction among her companions.
I must learn to be content with being happier than I deserve. There are few people whom I really love, and still fewer of whom I think well. The more I see of the world, the more am I dissatisfied with it, and every day confirms my belief of the inconsistency of all human characters, and of the little dependence that can be placed on the appearance of either merit or sense. It is very often nothing but our own vanity that deceives us.
A lady's imagination is very rapid. It jumps from admiration to love, from love to matrimony, in a moment.
Nothing is more painful to the human mind than after the feelings have been worked up to a state of great excitement, to be thrown back into a calmness, the contrast of which is terrible. Do not consider me now as an elegant female intending to plague you, but as a rational creature speaking the truth from her heart. I am the happiest creature in the world. Perhaps other people have said so before, but not one with such justice. I am happier even than Jane, she only smiles, I laugh.
There is, I am convinced, some truth in the belief of eternal constancy. For what do we live, but to make sport for our neighbours, and laugh at them in our turn?
How little of permanent happiness could belong to a couple who were only brought together because their passions were stronger than their reason.
It is usual with young ladies to reject the addresses of the man whom they secretly mean to accept when he first applies for their favour, and that sometimes the refusal is repeated a second or even a third time. I have faults enough, but they are not, I hope, of understanding. My temper I dare not vouch for. It is, I believe, too little yielding, certainly too little for the convenience of the world. I cannot forget the follies and vices of others so soon as I ought, nor their offences against myself. My feelings are not puffed about with every attempt to move them. My temper would perhaps be called resentful. My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
There is, I believe, in every disposition, a tendency to some particular evil, a natural defect, which not even the best education can overcome. Nothing is more likely to conciliate the affections than gentleness and condescension. A sincere attachment to work has always been a source of happiness.
I have been meditating on the very great pleasure which a pair of fine eyes in the face of a pretty woman can bestow.
I do not pretend to possess equal frankness with your ladyship. You may ask questions which I shall not choose to answer. It is particularly incumbent on those who never change their opinion to be secure of judging properly at first.